NBA and come over work with Josh and the Tigers?
Well, it was a process for me. Probably almost towards the end of my career, I wanted to explore college. So there was a couple of things I needed to do. First was I had to go finish my degree, which I hadn't done. So I went back to school, went back to Arizona, and did that. And then second, I said, I don't know everything about college, but I know a lot in terms of recruiting. Let me see how this grind is. So for the month of July, I followed a couple AAU tournaments, and I tried to talk to as many guys that recruited me when I was coming out of school about the grind of college basketball. And I did that for a whole summer, and I came away feeling like this is something that I might want to do. So fast forward to I'm in between playing and not knowing what I want to do, so I'm working out in Houston. The athletic director of Rice, Chris Del Conte, who was at Arizona, asked me, did I ever think about coaching? And I said, yeah, obviously. So he said, well, being Brian, he would probably love to have you on the staff. Go talk to him. So I talked to him, and then from there I was on his staff, and then that's when they made the coaching change here. So Lionel Hollins brought me in, and I've been here ever since. And as I've been coaching in the NBA, I never lost my focus in terms of wanting to be in college. I always keep up with high school. I kept up with college. Obviously I was kept up with the pros. So this was just like, I know it seems like crazy to say this, but it was a progression for me, but I just did it backwards. So I kind of laugh when I hear people say that why would he leave the pros for college? I think that I played 13 years, coached in there 3, so I was in the pros for 16 straight years. So after a while, I think that for me, maybe I felt like it wasn't as fulfilling anymore after playing, but it chose me. So how could I turn that down? And when Josh talked to me about this opportunity, I just thought it would be great, to try to help the student athlete play a game and just kind of get him direction and guidance for something that gave me so much in my life, and that was basketball. So from this point forward, I'm so happy to be dealing with, this 18, 19-year-old kid and be able to hopefully have an effect on their lives the same way Lute Olson had an effect on my life when I was in college. The guys that kind of raised me coming up along the way. And that's really the thing that has intrigued me about the whole college game and the process.
How much were you able to keep up and follow the Tigers this past season while you were with the Grizzlies?
Well, I followed them. I followed them a little bit more probably when Josh got the job. Obviously, before Josh got the head job, they were very good. And honestly, before I came to Memphis and played, I didn't even know the following was this great. I had no clue. I thought that going to Arizona, I thought it was like the best. But just even today, being with Josh going around, he can't walk around anywhere. So I just, I didn't really know, and watching the Tigers play now, they're a young team, obviously. They had a lot of freshmen, but I think that one thing about college is, the team stays together. Freshmen will be sophomores, they'll grow, and they'll learn from their mistakes. And they've got good incoming players, and I think this team has a chance. And I think this program has a chance to get it to where I know Josh ultimately wants it to be, and that's to win a national championship. So I'm thrilled to have an opportunity and a chance to coach with Josh.
Damon, as you were going around and talking to these guys, did they talk to you about recruiting? What do you think your biggest asset will be in going to sell a kid and coming to Memphis?
You know what? When I go to recruit a kid, I'm going to recruit from the heart, first of all. I think that kids, some of them want the truth, some of them want lies, but I think that you got to just give them the reality of it. I think Josh touched on it. Every kid wants to play in the NBA, but the reality of it is a lot of them won't. So, I know everybody on the Memphis Tigers team right now wants to be in the NBA, but the reality of it is probably about 3 or 4 of them, and the rest of them probably won't. So, I think that it's just my job to go into somebody's home, talk to their parents, look them in the eye, and tell them the truth. I think that my credentials will speak for itself. So I'm not gonna go in there and harp on the things that probably everybody thinks I will, because that's easy. That's the easy part. But when you're going in somebody's home, you got to sell that parent and sell that kid that you're going to look out for them and take care of them and be a father figure to that person for the next 4 years of their life, one year or 2 years, depending on the situation. So that's really the thing that I'll try to focus on.
Looking at the players that you're about to inherit here and take over, how excited are you? Do you notice things about them that immediately you feel you can make an impact on?
Yeah. First thing I did was, before I came to meet with Josh last Thursday, I went and got as much film as I could on the Tigers and watched a lot of games and, tried to pick up tendencies that some of the players have and just kind of seeing what they were doing scheme-wise and all that stuff. And they have a lot of room for improvement. I think that, they have a solid team. They got a solid base, and like I said, made a lot of freshman mistakes last year, but that's going to happen when you're dependent on, freshmen like that. So I think that they'll be smarter because they're a year older, and I think that with the things that Josh wants to do this season, that'll help them out. And it's my job, it's Jack Murphy's job, Josh's job to try to help them get to where they, not only where they want to get, but to help us as a team and to get us where we want to get.
Why was the time right for you to make this move now? Did any of the impending issues possibly with the NBA, did any of that have anything to do with it? Maybe look around a little bit more?
Well, it didn't really have nothing to do with it from my standpoint, only because I've always wanted to be in college. I wasn't around here looking for a job, because I had a job with the Grizzlies. And, I was fortunate enough as a player where, I invested my money wisely, so it's not a case of where I needed to just go get something to make it happen. I'm doing this because I want to do it, and it's something that I've thought about long and hard. I want to help student athletes. I want to help guys that were in the same position I was in and try to get to where they want to get. And ultimately, for some of them, it's going to be the NBA. But if it's not, you come to college to meet people and get connections, because you never know who you're going to go to school with. And that's really what this is all about.
From when you were traveling around, you said you traveled the AAU circuit for a month to get a handle on it. How much had that changed and recruiting changed from when you were being recruited back in the East? So many years ago.
Shh.
Wasn't that long.
That thick book they just gave me. No, it's changed. You know what? Probably the biggest thing that has changed in recruiting is you have cell phones. Really it wasn't cell phones. I didn't have a pager when I was a kid or none of that. It wasn't texting, no Facebook, no networking or Twitter and all that stuff. So I mean, really and truly, that's what I got to get familiar with. Is that whole thing. And, but that's the biggest difference. Everything else, it seems to be pretty much the same.
Which summer was it you said that when you went around to the AAU tournaments? What summer was that?
It was 06.
Okay.
It was 06.
And then when was it that coach approached you about the job?
No, this was
I know it was just
I say,
recent.
yeah, it was just recently. So when did we lose to Oklahoma City? Whenever we lost to Oklahoma City, I think we lost on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
On a Sunday, it was a Monday.
How important was that year at Rice to have some recent college experience in the last 2.5, 3 years?
I think it was important, because I think that Ben was a good guy to learn from, because I think he's an excellent coach, and he taught me, but not only him, just being back from the beginning with most of the coaches. I've been fortunate to be with coaches that are, number one, organized, tedious about work, and look for perfection, and that's what Ben was all about. The talent level obviously wasn't there, at a Rice, but it was still good to learn from him, to kind of sit in on recruiting meetings, to just kind of dialogue with him about the whole college game and things of that nature. So that was a good experience for me.
The goal ultimately is for Damon Stoudamire to be a head coach at the college level. Is that what you're?
Well, yeah, eventually. Eventually. I'm like anybody else. I would love to be a head coach. Right now, I just feel like You know, I got an opportunity, I'm getting an opportunity to get my feet wet in the college game with an up-and-coming young coach, with an up-and-coming team. I shouldn't say program, but team, you know, because the program is already on the national level. So I feel like I'm fortunate enough to have this opportunity, and I'm looking to do some good things here.
Talk about the Arizona bond and learning from such a great coach like Lou Olson, and then now the two of you and kind of bringing, you know, that bond instantly already, and you're kind of already on the same page.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think that obviously that's why we were connected from jump. You know, with Josh being in Arizona, he coached my cousin. You know, so he called me many a times trying to get a pulse on what was wrong with Celine. You know, and sometimes I could tell him, sometimes I couldn't. But, you know, I just kind of we came from the same roots, so I think that we kind of think the same. You know, Coach Olson was a guard-dominated coach. You know, that's what I played guard. That's what Josh coached. I mean, it's like the same thing. So we come from the same kind of mold. You know, I think we're perfectionists. You know, I think the way Josh got to the point to where he is today of being a head coach is kind of similar to the path that I took to become a pro basketball player. You know, I had to work hard. You know, I had to grind every day. You know, and I had to ultimately prove everybody wrong. You know, in everything that I did, every step of the way. So, you know, I think that's probably why we connect so much.
Have you heard from Lute since you got the job?
Yeah.
What did he say?
I talked to Coach a lot anyway, you know what I mean? But Coach was happy for me. You know, he said that he'll be able to come out here now and make one trip and see Josh, myself, and Murph. You know, so he'll be pulling for us, you know, and then, you know, I mean, I think that, you know, one thing that I always took from Coach, you know, is that, and this is one thing that has always stuck with me, and even sticks to me to this day, especially for these student athletes. When I was a player, I never wanted to do anything wrong. Like, I always thought that Coach was perfect and I wasn't. But it wasn't in that kind of way though. I just didn't ever want to disappoint him. And I think that if we can, when I say we are talking about the coaching staff, we can get the players to feel that same way, I think that we'll do special things here. To get them to the point to where they don't want to let us down. That meant that we've given them everything that we needed to give them as coaches, as father figures, you know, everything, to where they don't want to let us down. And I think that's ultimately where Josh, you know, I, Jack, and everybody else involved here will wanted to get to.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Coach,
Thanks, Dan.
can you come back up here and